You ever start watching a new show and you're like, this is pretty good, I guess I'll keep watching. But then sometimes, right, every once in a while, you check out a new show or whatever and you're just like, oh, this was made for me. That's how I felt watching the first episode of You. Like, as soon as I saw Joe lock Benji in that, like, underground book dungeon or whatever, I was like, well, shoot, looks like I gotta binge the whole thing now. Intern, clear my schedule. But here we are now with season 4 of You, the show that, much like Twilight, 50 Shades, 365 Days, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, whatever, reminds us all that you can be as creepy as you want as long as you're vaguely attractive. So what do you say we check out what kind of wacky shenanigans Joe's getting up to this time? But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Skillshare. Well, it's 2023, brand new year, and what better time to finally start learning that thing you've always wanted to try, But where do you start? What are you even supposed to do? You want to learn, like, literally any music instrument? Self-improvement techniques like journaling or how to get over a creative slump? You want to learn how to make cool stuff for weddings that your friends are definitely going to be jealous of? Well, wouldn't you know, you could learn almost anything on Skillshare. Now, some of you may know I used to make a lot of video essays on this channel before I started this animation stuff, and I'll tell you right now, true story, I first learned how to do motion graphics and how to use Adobe After Effects from Skillshare. And then I took what I learned from that and applied it to animation, and now here we all are, so. Thanks, Skillshare. Right now, Skillshare has a special offer for all of you, okay? The first 1,000 people who join Skillshare using my link, you get 1 month of Skillshare for free. Okay, so let's say you do Skillshare for like an hour a day. That's 30 hours of classes you could get for free. So if this interests you, I highly recommend you click my link down below, sign up to Skillshare, and start learning something new today. Okay, back to the show. So as per last season, Joe had to murder Love so he could stop her from murdering him first. Just marriage things. And in so doing, faked his own death by cutting off his toes and setting his house on fire. My divorce was slightly less eventful, but that's not important right now. Now, he did all this so he could run away to Paris, chasing after his actually, really, definitely this time true love, Marion the librarian.
Love tests us. I've been tested more than most. Turned into a ghost. No home, no name, all for you. So I'll admit, when I went to find you, I told myself, this is the last time.
And so naturally, season 4 starts us right off in the middle of London. What?
So he's got to find a path to redemption.
I'm sorry, but no. I just think that the entire premise of the story is just pants.
I disagree. I thought it made a few nearly profound points for a work of fantasy.
Meaning what?
So at some indeterminate point in the future from season 3, Joe is now a professor at fictional university. Because you can just do that, just fake your death, go to Paris. I mean, immigration bureau, passport visa, what's that? And then a hitman sent by your dead wife's dad will just decide not to kill you and gives you a fake identity out of the goodness of his heart. And then you can just decide to become a teacher. I mean, come on, who hasn't been there before? But to be fair, okay, based on some of the teachers I've had when I was in school, like, I assume the interview process is just kind of like, all right, so do you have any anger management issues? Oh yeah, so many. Perfect. How do you feel about young people? Can't stand them. All right, no further questions. You start tomorrow. But anyway, so Joe Goldberg is now Jonathan Moore, upstanding American dude, just trying to make his way in the city of putting beans on everything for no reason.
Brits are the most literary people on Earth. They really read here. I don't just mean read, cover to cover. I'm not sure when Gen Z became actual adults, but honestly, I like it. In certain fundamental ways, all big cities seem the same. Insufferable hipsters are apparently universal.
Wait, stop. Joe, my dude, come on. You are literally the biggest hipster of all time. Are you kidding me right now? Your whole shtick this entire show is just about how, like, everyone's obsessed with technology, but not me, though. I like books and old stuff. Oh, what's that? A pretty girl who also likes books? Well, now I gotta kill your boyfriend. Dude's walking around in a tweed jacket complaining about hipsters. Like, yeah, okay, Joe, whatever you say.
I've had a lot of time to think, Marianne. Walking around London. Like a poet once said, heartbreak is our greatest teacher. And if so, thank you for making me wise.
Stop. Heartbreak? You killed like 15 people. Joe's like the biggest drama queen I have ever seen, okay? He's like the embodiment of those old boy band songs, where it's like,
I'm burning all our pictures, and I let my heart set sail, because I called your phone, but it went directly to voicemail.
Anyway, then we get a look at Joe's new 3,000 square foot London apartment that he just gets to stay in, because his coworker Malcolm, this guy here, just arranged it for him, no big deal. Meanwhile, everyone else in London's paying like £3,000 a month to sleep in a bathtub. And Joe just walks right up first day, he's like, yes, I'll take the university professor job and the penthouse suite, please.
I love this place. Charm, built-in bookcases, a fireplace in every corner. All due respect, Williamsburg could never. I don't think Malcolm knew about the view when he recommended this flat. And who is that?
You know, this entire show is heavily predicated on this idea that, like, no one has ever heard of curtains, apparently. Like, ever. I mean, I have never opened my blinds once, okay? Like, are you kidding me? There's people out there. But apparently I'm the weird one, because every person in every season of this show is just like, oh, excuse me, I guess I left the curtains open by mistake.
Is she his girlfriend? What kind of woman? No. I'm not interested. No people. Not interested. As a man named Moody used to say, not my circus, not my monkeys. I don't want to know.
Yeah, so after faking his death and starting his new life, Joe has vowed to never fixate on any woman ever again. But then, gosh darn, wouldn't you know it, one evening at work, Joe's walking to the parking lot and he sees Malcolm's girlfriend, Kate, the girl we saw in the window earlier, she's getting mugged, right? So obviously he has to hop in and help out, you know what I'm saying? What's he supposed to do?
Are you okay?
I should probably report it in case they come back and attack a student.
Fire truck.
For my life.
Cops would not be good for me.
Can you maybe don't mention me?
Now, Kate over here is a
No-nonsense businesswoman.
who has no time for shenanigans and frivolousness because she works as an agent for a bunch of really rich internet influencers, aka just the worst people you could ever imagine, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, and we're even. For my life. I told the police I didn't see who saved me, though I sensed his work papers were in perfect order.
Now, as always seems to happen to our little buddy over here, okay, because Joe saved Kate from the mugging, Malcolm invites him to some kind of big old secret club opening where all of Kate's clients and their friends are gonna be, which, as you might imagine, is like the last place a dude like Joe would ever want to be.
Lady Phoebe. Is Kate's most famous friend toxically aristocratic, quintessentially blonde? I'm sure Simon Sue's record-breaking art sales have nothing to do with his dad being a billionaire.
Simon's sister.
Sophie Sue. Every item on her body is a sponsorship deal.
American, are we?
They will have guns.
I wish.
Oh man, okay. Yeah, I feel like this is what like any of those LA YouTuber, TikToker, Twitch streamer party things would be like. Oh, hey man, so like you make cartoons? Kinda. That's cool, man. I just take my shirt off and do backflips on TikTok. Hey, guess how many times I threw up in the last 2 hours? Anyway, so at this party, Joe also meets this guy, Reese, who's like a famous author because he wrote this autobiography about how he grew up really poor, but then he found out he was like royalty or something.
The book is about how he was born into poverty, raised by an unstable, single mom, uncomfortably relatable, and he was a mess. Then found out he's the son of a duke, cleaned up, went to Oxford, and became the author of honestly one of the best memoirs I've ever read.
Yeah, so basically this dude is just Amanda Bynes from What a Girl Wants. Anyway, so at this party, one thing leads to another. Joe blacks out, remembers absolutely nothing. He wakes up in his apartment the next morning, no idea how he got there. Okay, who put pregnant Sonic on my face?
New day. No more craziness. Back to the quiet.
Wow. Whoops.
Malcolm.
Scum from birth, you mean? Sitting here all loved up over some stupid thought.
Wait, did I?
Now, like I said, Joe has no idea what happened last night, but wouldn't you know, gosh darn golly gee, there's a dead Malcolm on his table, and if anyone finds out about this, then Joe's cover is blown, his life is over. So he does the only sensible thing to do and cuts the body into little pieces, throws it around various rivers and lakes, and wham bam bibbida bow, problem solved. Now, once he's done that, okay, you'll never guess what happens.
Evanesce. I know this app. It's one of those high-security chat apps that erases everything you say. How did I get this on my phone? Hello, you. Who is this? You surprised me handling Malcolm like that. What the?
Wait, stop. No, hold on. Is this literally turning into Pretty Little Liars right now? Is Joe Spencer getting messages from the mysterious A? Is this what we're doing? But yeah, so this is like how the season starts, with Joe being like semi-framed for Malcolm's death, and he's getting blackmailed by someone over the phone, who I assume is just like a little 16-year-old blonde girl who comes back to life like 4 times. How is this a real show? And of course, Joe being a former serial killer himself, he has to solve the whodunit mystery using all the special skills he's gotten over the years, like peeing in jars and having chest hair that goes halfway up his neck.
Who are you? Someone.
More. Where's your family from?
One of them.
And who's this sad baby Tasia?
Killed Malcolm.
I'm back when one is dead.
And now
Why are you here?
they're texting me.
Okay, so I watched all the episodes that are out right now. Like, I'm not gonna spoil the important parts, but in watching the season so far, it's like, it just feels like there's not a whole lot of gas left in the tank, you know what I'm saying? The show was always kind of a spiritual spin-off to Dexter, sorta, kinda, like just the whole, you know, creepy serial killer talks to himself a lot genre of television. But this new season of the show is literally just Dexter. Like, the main appeal for me with the first season especially was how it was this really interesting twist on the whole psychopath boyfriend lifetime movie trope, you know? Like, girl meets boy, boy seems perfect, boy has an awful lot of Kirby plushies and Sailor Moon posters, boy watches rom-coms for a living? Oh, what do you know? He's one of them crazy guys. But this show kind of took that same idea and turned the perspective to the boyfriend and really got you into his head, and like you see why he does these things and how he rationalizes it to himself. You know, like no matter what he does, it's not that bad because he's doing it to protect the girl from the real bad guys, i.e. every other guy who's not him. And with like the first season or two, like I thought it was very clever, funny, interesting twist on an old idea. I thought it was great. I saw a lot of myself in Joe Goldberg, which should probably concern me way more than it does, but whatever, moving on. And like I said, now the show has kind of abandoned all of that, and it's just like a very typical, like, I don't know, Dexter, white collar, Silence of the Lambs thing, where it's like criminal uses criminality to catch the more bad criminal. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I'm still enjoying the show. It's funny. I like watching it. I like Joe as a character. It's fine. But it's just like, I don't know. Obviously, they can't have Joe doing all the same things over and over again, right? Like, he can't keep ruining his life forever with every new pretty girl he ever meets, which I didn't stop doing until I was like 28 myself, but I get it. The end of season 3, the cliffhanger was about him going to Paris to chase after Marion. But like, this all kind of gets wrapped up in about 10 minutes where he finds her and then she's like, I'm ill.
I'm sorry. I thought you'd be happy to see me. I thought you loved me.
I did.
Well, I'm right here.
Yeah, come on, Marion. I literally murdered half my neighborhood for you. How could you ruin our relationship like this? Like, this whole character and relationship she had with Joe, and all this was built up over season 3, right? But then they just kind of like sweep it under the rug and just, never happened. Now, like I said, the show itself is a subversion of the Lifetime formula, which made it seem fresh and new, at least to me. But with this season, like, not only is it a very typical whodunit story, but like the show literally tells you that it's going to be a formulaic whodunit story.
You don't think the style's just a bit formulaic?
Oh my God, you're one of them. Well, it is a formula, but the formula is fun. Number 1, there are no coincidences. 2, all motives always boil down to sex, money, or revenge. And 3, the first suspect is usually the second victim.
Oh, no.
And then it's literally just that. Like, I thought they were gonna tell us about how whodunits work and then twist it all around somehow, right? But no, it's just exactly that formula. Like, in a weird kind of way, there are 0 twists this season because they already tell you what the twist is going to be, and then it just happens. Which kind of seems like the exact antithesis of what the show set out to be in the first place, but what do I know? Now, don't get me wrong here. I don't think the show's bad because it's a whodunit. I mean, I like a good whodunit as much as anyone. It's just like, it's become the exact opposite of what it's kind of been the whole time. Now, to be fair, okay, only half the season's out right now, and March 9th, they're gonna drop the last 5 episodes. So they could totally do a big old bait and switch, have a bunch of wackadoo plot twists and all that stuff. And I certainly hope they do. Now, I just want to reiterate here, okay, like, I do like the show a lot as a whole. It's one of my favorite shows, but I'm just kind of disappointed in where it's going because I like it so much, if that makes sense. Maybe Joe and Love both should have just died at the end of season 3, you know, wrap it up, make it one singular, cohesive story. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell, leave a like, leave a comment, all that stuff. Send me an email at alexmyerscontact@gmail.com and let me know what movies or TV shows you think I should check out next. And above all else, everybody have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.